Well, let's talk about it now. I mean, there seemed to be a transition. When you guys signed onto the label, there was a change in band members, and it seemed like there was a change in style. So, as we talk about this new album, can we start with how that came about? How did the change in band members and style come about?
Man, everything kind of changed for me. It mentally, I started losing a lot of interest in the whole game once once the industry got involved, because there was a lot of pushing and pulling and pushing and pulling. There was some pushing of members. This person looks too old, or this, but and that was even before Elektra. We ended up getting rid of Dave Tenney, one of the best drummers in Orlando, and it was because of his, it was his age, and that wasn't an easy thing to do. And when we signed up with Elektra, it's kind of a sore situation because Dave was finishing up college when the contract was signed. So it's hard to talk about sometimes. It's hard to talk about because there's a lot of shit that I wish didn't go down the way it did. And if I could do it again, I would do it differently, But luckily, everything kind of started to play out. And the thing that probably made me the happiest was when I went to Dave's graduation, and I didn't get what he was doing. His on the top of his graduation cap, he put the Elektra E on there. That was the
right.
the E that was turned sideways and kind of cockeyed.
Right.
And he put that on his thing, and I literally welled up once I figured out what the heck he was doing, because I didn't get it at first, and when I did, it was because I knew it was kind of a launching point for what we were going to go through for the next two or 3 years. So when it happened, I did most of the writing and stuff, and then we went into pre-production, and Dave came in and did a lot of the pre-production with us. So he had a lot of say in what went down in the direction we went. As far as he worked really, really well with Craigie, the guy that helped us fashion together the pre-production that created the Elektra album. And I'll never forget.
We did that at
Dave's
Roscoe's studio.
Yeah, Roscoe's studio right there in Deltona.
That's right.
Yeah,
what was it? Homegrown studio?
Homegrown studios, man. It's no more.
Smelled like a dispensary.
It was before its time.
That's right. Yeah. It wasn't medical back then.
That's right. So from pre-production on, man, things started to kind of gel again. And, Dave was there. He was part of it. And we were throwing stuff down on wax that was keepable, and we liked it. And we all kind of agreed, but production and producers and engineers, they have a tendency to kind of guide you in a direction, and it's tough to fight that stuff. When you're young and getting into the industry, you've got to trust the people around you that have done it over and over and over. And Mark Tanner had just come off of, what was the name of it, Dave?
Man, I wish I could remember.
Oh, it's a #1 for 30 weeks in a row.
It was a good one.
He had a song, The Calling. Calling.
Yeah.
They had a #1 hit for freaking ever, a month. It was #1 for like a month. It had broken records. And so here's this guy that's coming in to do our album. And of course, that jades the entire situation. He's going to make us sound more like what that was. The industry just cookie cuts crap, man. It's hard to deal with. But I got to tell you a story about how he worked. Going from pre-production into real production, when we went to LA and we went to Cello Studios, Mark Tanner had this machine, and it was the most amazing thing. It was kind of to make things go faster. Instead of recording a lyric or a phrase or a line or an entire song and then going back and doing it again and again, he would have me sing the thing 4 times. And he had this machine that had an A, B, C, and D on it. And I would sing the entire song through. And then I would sing the entire song through again. That would be B. And then I would do C. And then I would do D. And he would sit there and I would watch him play me like an instrument. He'd hit A, and B would suck. So he'd go to C, and he'd go to D, and he'd go to A. Then he'd go, so phrase by phrase or line by line. It wasn't literally phrase by phrase, but he would literally go from A to C to D to A to B to D. And then there would be the honing process once he got it to a point where he played me like an instrument. And then he'd go, okay, there's this phrase in the song that doesn't work. So I've got this A, B, C, D, and it goes all the way through the whole song. And then he's got this X over top of these phrases. That's freaking amazing. And he said it was like 1 of 2 in the entire country. Remember that, Dave?
Yeah,
he was
awesome.
saying, he was like, this machine. He would show it to us. Say, oh no,
so LA. Hey man,
don't even look at it. But he was so proud of this little machine. And he said, there's only like 2 or 3 of these in the US. But the precision, when he would hit A from A to C, it would literally be seamless. And it would be like I would sing it the first time and the third time, but it would be completely seamless. That is total, that is industry magic there.